So a new patch was released earlier this week, and with it brought some meta-changing chaos. But I think it's all settled down now. I don't think things are too bad. But boy, was this patch quite long. You can see it's been, yeah, they've been quite busy at work there, the devs. I've actually gone through this patch myself, and now I've finally found the time to go through it with you guys and share my thoughts and opinions on it. I think overall the patch has been pretty good. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over all the main stuff, all the main points for you guys. Um, yeah, as always, guys, this is unscripted. So if I go off on a rant, if I start saying dodgy, it's all unscripted. Yeah, yeah. Let's just go for it, guys. Let's start with the store. Okay, so the silver price of card packs has been reduced by 40%, so ooh, that's a good thing, right? The black market packs were removed, and new bundle size are now available. So I don't know if that's a bad thing, black market packs were removed, but I think overall that's good. So for all you store junkies out there, you can go nuts on the store. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say about that. So now let's get to the main point. Let's get to the main meat of the game. So the mechanics change. Standard free range units now have a minimum range of 2, preventing retaliation against melee attacks. So that's a big deal. Okay, so this change allows us to give range units more reasonable stats while keeping them balanced and heightens the advantage of first strike and board positioning. Okay, so what they've done is they basically changed range units from two range. They made 3 range as standard, but they've also added a minimum range of 2. So that means that many units, if they get into face of these range units, the range units won't be able to retaliate, and that's a big deal. So in compensation, what they've done is they've gone above range units, either in health or attack. There are some exception to a couple units who have 2 range. They can still retaliate against many units. So examples I can think of are the Elvish Hunter, One-Eye Maddie. Those guys still have a range of 2. They can still retaliate against melees. But anyone that has 3 range cannot retaliate if melee gets into their face. So my concern is, guys, is that I really don't want the game to turn into a range fest. I've seen some people saying, "Wow, that means we can make range deck now." Whoopie do, but no. Like when you're faced against a range deck and you're a melee deck, it will not be fun. Let me tell you, your all your guys will die before they get into range. So all your melee dudes, they'll just get shot. They'll die before they can even kill kill those mages or archers or whatever. It won't be fun. All that means is that everyone will start making range decks. So no, range decks, there needs to be a balance. Should be a balance of melee and ranged. Um, I really hope the game won't get into that state. At the moment, from what I've seen, I think they've got a balance just right. So it's all good. Thumbs up there. However, if they start buffing range units to have too strong of an attack, then if you have a big range army, then yeah, everything's going to die before they get into range. So they got to be really careful, make sure they don't buff range unit attack too much. Health, I guess, is fine, but they got to be really careful about the attack damage of range units, because it can just go all pear shaped. But alright, okay, so let's move on. Many unit buff restriction has been removed from all enchants except Ejitsu. So this is huge. So that means you could put many buffs now on range. So things like vanishing strikes you can put on range units, and that's quite a big deal. So all of a sudden your weak range units, that's like 1, 2, they'll be buffed to 5, 5, 6, and they can do like 5 damage range, and that's a big deal. But so far from what I've seen, it's not. It's I guess it's good for the game. It's not it's not breaking anything. So I think as a whole, this change is good, but they have to get it just right. Otherwise, let me tell you guys, it will change into a range fest, and no one will be having any fun. Okay, moving on. So flying books cost increased to 3, stats changed to 2, 4. Shaman cost changed to 4 gold, and stats changed to 3, 2. Okay, so flying books. Okay, fair enough. 2 gold to 3 gold. The stats changed. Not a big deal. I've seen some top guys, actually a lot of top guys, dropping flying books already, but they're also a lot of guys, they're keeping flying books, myself included. I still have 3 flying books in my deck. I just think you've got to have at least some card draws, otherwise you're just going to be card starved in the late game. You can run out of steam late game without any some sort of card draws. So still, flying books is still auto include for me. The stats is less relevant. However, the shaman is, that dude is dead, man. I mean, that they kill shaman. I mean, for 4 gold, and the stats is just completely unreasonable. So yeah, I don't know what's that about. I think shaman should cost 3 also. Then you just tweak your stacks a little bit. But right now, as it stands, it's totally not viable. Don't use shaman. Don't do it. Okay. So moving on. So these are all the changes, I guess, to the specific starter cards. I guess you get all these cards for free. So let's go through them. Wizard, your Wizard Harry. Simply simplify to 2/3 range units. So okay, fair enough. So they took away the auto damage and just turn this into a basically an archer. All right, 2/3. Okay, it's still a dead unit. Northland Ranger, HP increased to 8. Okay, no one will still use that. Moving on, Salaha Rider. Now, actually, really, when I first saw this, I thought, okay, HP changed to 2. It was from 1. And I thought, okay, maybe it's good now, but no, it still sucks. Maybe if they increase HP to like 3, then it might be usable. As it stands, there are just simply better 2 gold cards out there. I'll get to that in a moment. But in its current state, it's not worth it. Judge, attack increased to 3. I've seen some guys in the past, using Judge. So now their attack's been increased to 3. So now I guess it's more usable, but it's still at the very top level. It's still pretty much a crappy card. Scout, HP increased to 4. Still Pants. Earth Knight, HP increased to 6. Okay, so this is probably, I guess, the first useful change for Knight's deck. If you're not Knights, don't use Earth Knight. Or actually, no, obstacle deck. This is useful. So Earth Knight gets 1 extra hit points. So if you're a Knight deck, that's good for you. Obstacle deck, that's also good for you. But other than that, still crap. Hassan City Guards. Now this is quite a significant change. Hit points increased from 3 to 4. What this means is, so before Hassan City Guards was already pretty good. Now it's just insanely good. So quite frankly, I don't know why they buffed this. I think it's really hard to buff Hassan City Guard. I think really they should have like 3.5 hit points, but that's not really possible. So 4 hit points, I guess that will do. But now, like, Hassan City Guards are pretty much auto include for a 3 gold unit, either this or Titan Watcher, or Kanochi if you're a ninja. But Hassan City Guards are really good right now. Yeah, I was surprised to see that buffs, but yeah, just go nuts on them, guys. They're good units. So Hassan Missionary, which cost reduced to 2 and stats changed to 3/3. I like this change because now this is a massive buff. This is now a very useful unit. I have one of these guys in my deck myself, just experimenting with it. It's fine without any. I think up to 2. You can have up to 2 of these guys, or up to well, I wouldn't have anything more than 2, but for a 2 gold unit, what it does is it heals all your friendly units by 2 hit points, and it has a 3 attack, 3 health to boot. So it's a very, very good deal for 2 gold. But unfortunately, if none of your guys are hurt, this unit is not good. So it's just situational, not situational. Okay, so let's move on. Guardian, simplify to a 2/7 nobility. Okay, still crap. Dragon Knight, HP increased to 5, still crap. Yeah, crap. Shield Knight. I don't know why I took away the Knight tag. I mean, I guess that's to balance it, but now 2 attack, 5 health. Yeah, and it's not worth it. Reckless Knight, HP reduced to 3. Now, this one really baffled me. I don't know why they reduced hit point to 3. I mean, I thought it was okay at 3/4. Now it's just completely unusable with only 3 hit points. I get charge is really powerful, but frankly, I think 3/4 was absolutely fine. Now I don't see anyone use it. This unit is dead and buried. Okay, so finally, Wall Tower. This is quite a funny change. Hit points increased to 9 from 6. Still an absolute useless card. What can I say? I think an interesting change to this card would be if they put Retaliate, 1 damage, and reduced hit points to maybe 6, for example. But add Retaliate on there, then it becomes more interesting. But as it stands, it's still absolutely useless. Alright, okay, so moving on. So I guess all of these cards are these are the non basic cards. Alright, okay, so Major Apprentice cost reduced to 2, stats changed to 1-3. Okay, so Major Apprentice has seen another change. So basically back to the way they were, to 1-3, but the cost has been reduced from 3 to 2, so that's a good change. Obviously they got their minimum range, but overall it's still buffs. But at the start I've seen some guys who are playing with Major Apprentice, but I don't think this is. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. I guess the free card that they produce is what their is what their is their well is their point behind the Major Apprentice. But as a unit, it's pretty weak. I thought. Well, 1-3 is pretty weak for 2 gold. But anyway, Cannoneer changed to 3 range unit. Okay, that makes them dangerous. But HP reduced to 2. So yeah, very situational. But chances are you won't have a slot for a Cannoneer. Still not good enough. Acolyte, this is quite an interesting change. Change to 3 range unit, stats changed to 1-2. Definitely usable now. But you don't want too many 2 gold units. So if you like Acolyte, if you like spawning the Undead Apocalypse up on your enemies and sending zombies to your opponent, then by all means use the Acolyte. Otherwise, I do not recommend it. It's still not solid enough. Okay, Elvish Hunter HP increased to 5. Yeah, still for some reason. I mean, basically, Elvish Hunter used to be 3-3. Now it's 3-5, but now it's still unusable. Probably because of minimum range. Still not that good. Okay, Wind Mage, that's changed to 2-1. Okay, still dead. Lawmaster, attack increase to 2. Still useless. Troll Gunner, whoa, this is a troll change, right? I mean, this, yeah, for 5 gold for 3-3 units, yeah, not good. Dead unit. Headmaster Saurus, attack increase to 2. Nice. Okay, brilliant. I think that's a good change. For 5 gold, the attack feels a bit weak, and after you use his ability, the unit feels a bit useless. So I like this change, quite nice. Darkbender changed to a 2 move, 3 range units with same stats. Okay. No one, again, still not good enough. Fire Drake, this is interesting. I've seen people playing about with Dragon deck. So if you're a Dragon deck, Fire Drake is definitely good. If you're not a Dragon deck, Fire Drake is not good. So Flame on if you're a Dragon deck, Flame off, Flame out if you're not. Dawn Knight, interesting. Stats changed to 10. I've seen some people use Defiance with this to bring his attack to 10-10. So it's definitely have brought about some new ways to new combos to the game. But apart from that, it's basically like a 5 gold version of Flux, except that giving you spells, it gives you units up to cost of 2 random units. But because Flux Daves has been nerfed, I think Dawn Knight is a viable alternative, but I think Flux Dave is still more powerful, even though he's been nerfed. But I'll come to that later, because simply spells are more useful. Quite frankly, have been 1 or 2 gold units extra in your hand. It's not as useful as spell, nowhere near as good as spell. So, if you don't like flying books, I guess this is you can put Dawn Knights in there, and you can combo that with Defiance. But apart from that, yeah, don't use the unit. School of Knowledge, cost reduced to 2. I think this was a poor attempt to make players use this building. It's still dead. Really disappointed. I don't know. School of Knowledge. I mean, the name sounds really cool, right? School of Knowledge. It sounds like it should be also included, but no, it's not. It's dead. Professor Hedward, effect radius increased to 11.5. It used to be 11 times 3. Now it's 11 times 5. I've actually replaced one of my Pyromancer with a Professor Hedward, and yeah, definitely very viable now, Professor Hegwood. I would recommend it to have at least one of these guys in your deck. Minotaur HP increased to 5. Used to be 5-4, I believe. So this dude gets 1 extra hit points. Still as useless as before the patch. So moving on. Imp hit points reduced to 3. Awakened damage increased to 2. So this is a new Spitefish. Okay. So instead of Last Will, it's an Awaken. I've seen a lot of people using Imp, so Imp is certainly a good unit right now. If you like to burn your opponent castle with Imp, Spitefish, and spells, so Imp is definitely a good unit, decent. Solara Spitefish costs now 3 gold, and stats improved to 3-3. Yeah, I think they sort of killed the unit now. Before it was at 1 gold, then 2, now it's at 3 gold. Now I just feel lacking simply because of the last fill ability, which does two damage to your opponent's castle. Because of that, it seems to be paying a heavy price. Maybe if I don't know, this is a hard to balance unit now. I feel if he gives Spitefish 4 hit points, it might be too much. 3 is too little. I don't know. I don't use it. Not my style. Yeah, no love from me. Solara Soldier, okay, still useless. Garden Knight, heal increase to 2, still playable, but still useless. Hassan Missionary is better than Garden Knight, so if you like heals, yeah, Hassan Missionary is a better option. Gravestalker, ooh, so now they're raising the stake. HP increased to 5, so from 4 to 5. But if you do the maths, it's like a 4 gold, 4 gold version of the Titan Watcher without sluggish. So I would prefer to have a Titan Watcher over a Gravestalker. But yeah, at 4 gold, there's probably a better slot. So I think it's definitely playable now, not playable. But I actually seriously thought about having the Gravestalker in my deck, seeing it as my main deck now it's Awaken. However, I just think there's just not enough card slot for this guy, and it's too slow. Really, two movements too slow. Okay, unstable construct. Now this is a significant change. Okay, so from HP, hit points increased to 7. Sorry, from 6 to 7. That is huge. So now I've seen a lot of people having unstable construct in their deck because it is simply that good, guys. I have 2 of these guys in my deck, and you can put some really powerful rushes with it. Late game they're useful with the 4 damage. They're just really, really powerful. So in the past, basically, if you play Unstable Construct, if your opponent block your construct with if anything with a 2 attack, you basically stop the unstable construct dead in its track in terms of rush. But now that 1 extra hit points, that's a huge deal. Your unstable construct will stay alive for 1 extra turn, which enables you to attack, and it's just a huge deal. And basically, Unstable Construct I feel is meta right now, along with Sunflower. So Sunflower is really good, Unstable Construct really good. It's pretty solid to have at least 2 of these guys in your deck. You can even go 3 all out. I've seen some guys even use what do they call it, spiny Unstable Construct, and then they can have like Kanochi or Hassan City Guard. So that brings a very, very powerful rush, and I've seen people just simply die within 10 turns because there's so much pressure between Spiny and Unstable Construct. Doesn't matter if you run your opponent runs out of card because you're basically dead, right? So this change has really changed the early game meta. So now it's a lot more rush focused. You just got to be really careful. If you don't have Unstable Construct of your own, or if you don't have Sunflower, if you don't have some sort of solid early game card, then you'll be in a very tough time. Okay, Dancing Sword changed to a 2/4 unit with +3 attack on Awaken. It's almost like a watered down version of the Century Golem. Still not good enough. Simply the stats still too poor. Murderer's Mask cost reduced to 0. Nice change. Good for Flux Staves. good for 3 spells, but otherwise not worthy of a card slot. Defiance cost reduced to 4, so that's quite. I think now it's reasonable. It's definitely usable. As I was mentioning earlier, people were using this in conjunction with Dawn Knight, or Pyromancer, etc. So this is seeing a lot more use, and it's good for combo really. I don't think it's overpowered. It's quite nicely balanced. So Arcanon Magic Eater, move speed increased to 4, so it's teasing us to use this unit a bit more. The problem is it's still situational. This unit here, purely based on, it's a reactionary card, it's very situational, completely dependent on your opponent to have all units out on the field. If your opponent don't have an all unit like Eternal Flame Guy, Primordial Flame, or Zealous Knight, for example, then this is a very it's very underpowered for 3 gold still. I mean, 4 movement is nice, but yeah, better than a scout there, I guess, but still not worth a card slot. Rusty Hooks cost reduced to 4, still useless. The problem with Rusty Hooks really, I feel they should really have 3 range, but if they have 3 range, then they become too overpowered. So 2 range, I feel that's the right, that's the right range, but currently the stats I think is 2 attack, 6 health, but at cost of 4, it's just still, yeah. I think maybe 7 health feels too much. 6 health is that. But yeah, actually, you know what? At the moment, it's probably finely balanced, but I just don't see anyone having some sort of drag deck, or I don't know. Maybe it can be combo with something like the Wind Mage. What's not Wind Mage? The Winds of Notch. But as it stands, yeah, I don't see people use this card. Maybe it's got potential. Personally, I haven't seen people use it, so who knows? DK Kargrim the Oppressor, stats increased to 6-7 now. Now we're talking. So now it's this is a real contender. So if you have an Aura deck, so if you're running Warlock Crusaders with like Primordial Flames, for example, if you're running like an Aura deck, then this is a good card to have in your deck. So good change. Okay, so card nerfs, Dojo Awakening, attack bonus reduced to 1. Okay, fair enough. Before, I think, yeah, it felt a bit too strong really with 2 attack. Now I think it's really well balanced. Don't touch the Dojo anymore, because if you touch it anymore, then yeah, it becomes unusable. But right now I see a lot of people drop Dojo, myself included. I've dropped it in favour of 2 blacksmiths. But the good thing about Dojo is that the buffs it gives to your unit is stick. So even if your opponent destroys his Dojo after it applies the buffs, your unit still gets the buffs, and that is a very I do put it, that's just a really powerful buff. So all the other buffs in the game, from buildings, as soon as you destroy the building, the buff goes, it dies with it, but not for a Dojo. So that's something to keep in mind. House of the Ninja Rat. Finally, Rats gets a nerf bat. Wow, I thought it would never happen. Finally, House of the Ninja Rats gets no longer grants +1 attack. So now it just feels a little bit underpowered, tiny really bit underpowered, but +1 movement range on Rats is still a huge deal. And you can get +1 attack from Blacksmith and score magic anyway, so I don't know. I think it's still usable, but guys use his Mystic Journey anyway with Rats, so maybe it's not that big of a deal. Pacifist cost increased to 3. I think this is a good change because for 2 gold I feel it was too powerful. Basically, you can shut down your expensive units, and if you ain't got Blacksmith, for example, to counter, then it's just too good for 2 gold. But now at 3 gold, I think it's definitely more reasonable. Frozen Storm cost increased to 6. Not sure if that was necessary because yeah, now it just feels like a weaker version of a Ice Blast. So if you had a choice between Frozen Storm or Ice Blast, then obviously you choose Ice Blast. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think this card will still be used for people who uses 3 stick, for example, and stall deck. Other than that, you know, not too big of a change. Finally, your Giant cost increased to 9. I think this card is still very, very good for 9 gold. Frankly, I think it should either cost 10, or the giant should have his hit point reduced to 9 or even 8. The knockback and the chain lightning are they work together so well. They're such a nice combo, so powerful. Um, the fact that it costs 8 gold was absolute bargain, and right now at 9 gold is still a very good card. Finally, Flux Dave HP reduced to 5 from 7. You know, it breaks my heart to see Flux Dave getting a nerf, but I think it has to be done. Everyone was running Flux Dave. It's still a really powerful card. You still use him for the spell draws. Sometimes spells just simply win games. You know, I've seen game one all the time from cards granted by Flux Daves. Still very good. If you don't like books, use Flux Daves or even Patient Study. Viable choices if you're a ninja. But yeah, anyway, guys, finally got to the end. You can probably tell I've got a little bit exhausted. I can't believe I'm actually running out of breath. I'm so unfit. But anyway, guys, yeah, I finally got to the end. Yeah, it was a really long patch. But overall, I'll give this patch an 8.5 out of 10. Good for the game. Range, I hope they just won't overbuff range units again. If they start having mad attacks on range units, then yes, we will have range decks, and it will not be a fun experience. But anyway, guys, comment down below. Let me know what you think about this patch, and I will be back with some more Galactica later on this week. I've been playing a lot actually. Actually ended the last season on rank 7. Unfortunately, I didn't do any Galactica, didn't record anything, but next time I will do. But yeah, guys, as always, thank you for joining me, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.